Okay, good afternoon all. Hope everyone is well. I've got the right time today. I know there was a few of you sat there yesterday for an hour. Well, I didn't realise the clocks in the US had gone forward by 1 hour. I thought we actually went forward at the same time, but I was wrong. We actually moved forward on the last Sunday of the month, which is about 2 weeks, something like that, maybe. Yeah, I think it's about 2 weeks. 2 weeks on Friday or a week on Friday, I can't think. Let me have a look. Let's have a look. Yes, a week earlier, week Sunday morning, usually at 2 o'clock, 2 a.m. Sunday morning. That's when the UK goes forward into summertime. So hopefully things should start to get warmer. So, Ionis, how you doing? So I'm a little bit early. I don't usually pop up for about another 5 minutes. So, okay, so we've got some news today. Now, I'm still a bit confused as to, I'm assuming this hasn't happened yet. This is converted to my time, but I don't know whether because it's an hour forward, it's 1:30, but I don't think I'll be taking anything until the market opens anyway. Until I'm sure. So let's see. Okay, so hey, how you doing, mate? How are you doing? So okay, so let's have a quick look. What's happened? We've had this big strong push down. I was aware of this happening, but there wasn't really anywhere to get in, unfortunately, because it came down quite a few points. Well, let's say it dropped from about here, didn't it? So yeah, 88 points, 90 points. It's quite a nice drop, that, but unfortunately there wasn't really anything there. I mean, we came back to the top here and here, but there's no real setups, to be honest with you. And that's typical sometimes when it does come down like this. You don't get a great deal of setups. Hey, leader loser, how you doing? So, okay, so we've had this push down and we seem to be having a correction range, whatever you want to call it. So it's obviously possible we could make a second leg down. Things have been a bit crazy lately, haven't they? With Silicon Bank and all that sort of thing. A lot of other banks starting to panic, and people have been throwing money into cryptos, and cryptos have been pumping. But it's all a bit. I can't keep up with it all, but it's certainly been worrying for a lot of people. So let's just have a quick look here. It's certainly feasible that we may get a second leg down there. So often when we get something like that, we did the other day, had a push, then we had some correction, then we had a push again. So that's what I think may happen. But obviously, until this sorts it out, I won't be going long or short because it may not happen. So therein lies the problem. So that's your lot. So just quickly, for your information, the trades taken during this stream are purely my opinion and not intended to be copied. Also not interpreted as any type of investing or financial advice. Trading, as we know, can be potentially result in significant financial loss, and therefore any decisions taken by you are at your own risk. I'm not a financial advisor, and this live stream is purely meant for entertainment purposes only. There we go. That's my entertaining bit at the end. So, yep, I hope everyone's okay. Everyone's well. It was a funny old day yesterday. I took a quick trade before the market opened yesterday. And then during the main trading session, there wasn't really anything, so I never took any trades. As most of you are aware, at the moment I'm on 2 PA accounts and a new evaluation, although I did do another trade. In fact, I did a couple of trades yesterday, but on the evaluation. I tend to avoid coming back now and trading later, but the evaluation I wasn't too major concerned about. But the PA account, I'm keeping that strictly business hours. So there we go. So let's see what happens. So, okay, so market's due to open in about 4 minutes, and I'm assuming it's got 12:30 on my chart, the news. So I'm assuming you've bumped forward an hour, so that I'm assuming this is going to be 1:30. I can't see anything. Let's go back to 12:30. There was actually, to be honest with you, there was a quick couple of pushes, so that may have been it. Can somebody let me know if you're expecting the news now, or is it over and done with? Because I've just looked at 12:30 and we had that quick spike and then things settled down. So blah blah blah. It was about 6 points, not a huge amount, but something obviously happened at 12:30. So that may have been it, actually. That may have been it. But just somebody let me know if you're expecting any type of news. Just so I don't want to do something stupid. Okay. Yeah, it's just sort of sideways at the moment. Morning, that news has already happened. Excellent. Thank you, Richard. I think, Richard, you're a new face. I think I don't recognise you, I don't think. Where are you from, mate? Like to see new faces here. Okay, so we've had a couple of legs up there, which is played out. We've had a push down and we've had a lower high. Am I thinking about coming down here? Not at the moment. I'm a little bit unsure about what's going on. Market's due to open in just under 3 minutes, so I'm just sitting on my hands, biding my time, and imagining I'm sat on a beach somewhere, drinking a cocktail on my yacht. I like to dream, as you well know. So, PPR news all released. Yeah, excellent. I thought as much. So, okay, so that time is right. I'm assuming it's adjusted to your daylight savings time through this, because it obviously does adjust to my time, because obviously 12:30 p.m. is UK time. So there we go. So let's see what happens today, see if we can get something moving today. As I mentioned yesterday, there'll be no trading on Friday and Monday. I'm going away for a long weekend, a much needed long weekend with my wife and daughter. We're heading down south to a lovely city called Winchester, where we'll be drinking some beer, eating some curry, and just generally relaxing. Probably eating a load of crap. That's my idea of a nice getaway. So let's have a wee looky. What's going on here? Oh, market, I think. I don't know, maybe not. Still got another minute and a half. I'm not going to get into those just at the moment. We've had a couple of legs up. We've probably had a couple of smaller legs as well. So yeah, usually when the markets do this, well, I say usually, in a lot of cases, you'll have one leg down and you'll have a load of correction and then another leg down. So whether it will or not, I don't know. It's possible. But I put that there just in case it does decide to come down, to give me an idea where it may go and obviously help influence my trades. Yeah, I'm here. Hello. Brisbane. Oh, a bloody Aussie. You're a cricket fan, are you, Richard? Because if you are, I'm going to make your life miserable. We've got the Ashes. I'm a big cricket fan. We've got the Ashes coming up. I believe it's June, actually. So there is actually. Do you know Jonathan, dear? He's from your neck of the woods. He's on the Facebook Max Facebook group. So I try and make his life as miserable as possible. So let me know if you're a cricket fan, because you're going to have a tough day if you are. No, I got a lot of respect for you guys. Massive cricket fans, great nation. It's on my list to do. In fact, I'll be 50. I'm 53. I'll be 55 next year. Now we've got the Ashes this year, so the year after next, my plan is to go to Australia for about 5 weeks to watch the Ashes. That's something I like to do. LOL. Kiwi live in Australia, but still love cricket. Excellent. Yeah. What did we do? I can't remember. New Zealand, did we? Yes, I think. Did we? I think, if I remember rightly, didn't we thrash you on your own turf? Which I don't think's ever happened, is it? If I remember rightly. I'm just trying to think stats in my head at the moment. So, nice to have you, mate. Anyway, nice to have some new. Always nice to have some new faces. Okay, so market has opened. So let's see what's going on here. Looks like a bit of a channel. See what happens here. I am expecting some downwards movement, but my trouble is I get that focused on it, sometimes it can get me in a bit of trouble. So let's see anyway. But we've had this big strong leg down. Now obviously this can't continue forever. It's got to stop at some time, but it usually manifests itself by a correction. And then it obviously you got traders taking profits down here, but if market seems to be going south again, it's probably going to correct first before it goes down again. Just can't sustain going down there that quick, really. So it's always good to have something like this. But let's have a look. So market is open. Yeah, greatest game in the world, cricket. Massive cricket fan I am. In fact, wasn't it last week or something? It was been 12 months since we lost the great Shane Warne. A very sad day for cricket. It affected a lot of people, didn't it? We were always big fans of Shane Warne over in the UK. Met him a couple of times at cricket games. Absolutely lovely, friendly bloke. Genuine guy. What you see is what you get. No bells, no whistles. And that's how I like people. So, okay. Let's have a look. That looks a little bit like a break to me. And a push up. Okay. So we had an overshoot here. Breakout, fell breakout. And we had the same the other side of it. Okay, so we've had this break. Whether that's a break of the channel or not, I don't know. I'm thinking of more. I mean, for me, it's more about range at the moment. Okay, there's a lower high there, which I kind of like, but it may come up and retest these highs. So I'm going to stay out of that at the moment. I'd like another attempt at here, really. Okay, there we go, new high. Excellent. So that channel has played out. In fact, I'm probably going to bring that there because that is probably... It's by the by now anyway, it doesn't really matter. We've had this break and we've had a new high, so let's see if we come back into the channel. Into the range, I would say. Okay, that channel's played out. Second entry short. I'm giving up on these because you just don't know where they're going to go. I've been trapped so many times going short there. I like to think it's coming in, but I'm not sure. So it does look like we may get some movement upwards. Let's see. Looks to me like a couple of legs. Let's see if this comes back now. I could probably move this up a fraction. Okay, that looks okay. Okay, so there's our first entry. Let's see if we're going to push below the EMA. Okay, nicely. Let's see if we can get a failure. Trouble is sometimes it just tanks, doesn't it? Let's get an order ready. Might not give us an option, but...
Order submitted.
Come on, pull back a bit more. It triggers above this, and there's going to be a second entry long. Let's see if now we get a failure. So I'm going to retest the top of this trend line. We've had a breakout and we've come back. That's definitely a failure. But market's moving quite quick there. Making me a little bit nervous. We're going to try to go on, so I go twice. Not. It was starting to go a little bit sideways there, made me a little bit nervous. So I'm just staying out of this at the moment and keeping watch because it could still push out. I mean, after this broke and it started to come down, if we were going to come back to this side, I thought it may have happened a little bit quicker. There's probably going to be some longs there, so I'm just trying to think of a way down, but it's a little bit congested. Am I thinking it's coming down? I think it may do. I think if it breaks below this, then it may come down a bit quicker. It's just making me a bit nervous. And that was a failure, but it sat right on top of there. And that's what makes me nervous, but it's not coming down as quickly as I thought it may do. Let me get rid of that.
Order cancelled.
Let me have a look. Okay, so that would be more like that, wouldn't it? Let's move this out of the way for a time. Just figure out what's going on. Yeah, I don't think we're finished here. I thought with this range we're coming from top to bottom. I still think that it is possible we could make a second leg down, but just the way this is acting, that I wouldn't be shocked if we actually started to move up. We've retested this line now. Let's see what happens now. If we go back out and break this, then I think there's more chance we've got to going up. It's testing this line, which at the top of the trend, so I think it's likely. It's going to trap some shorts there. They're going to get away with it. I think there'll likely be some shorts because the top of that line's fitting quite nice. So I think there's likely to be some shorts there. So if it breaks above this, takes out them shorts. So I tend to avoid these like the plague I do, especially if I'm unsure what's going on. It's last week's close. I don't tend to go back that far. I never really hear Mac or anybody else mentioning it. Yesterday's opens and closes, yeah, sure, but I never tend to go back that far. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, if I'd taken that, just short the top of the range, I'll be a bit nervous now because this is making me nervous. In fact, I can probably go up a touch to about. Okay, I'd say I'm expecting down now, at least to the midline now, one leg, two leg. We've gone up then, we've tried enough times. Trying to go once, possible second entry long here. I might take the failure. Let's see if this triggers. I'm thinking we're making a second leg down personally now. Try to go once, go twice. Maybe not. Okay, that's took out any shorts there, so let's just remove this for now. I don't know what's going on officially. I don't know what's going on. Okay, I like that. Touches twice there, touches there, bodies there, touch. A little bit of a pick out, but yeah, to me, it looks like we're starting to move upwards a little bit. I think it's starting to lose. I thought initially it may. I mean, obviously this we had a break out of this, and eventually it made a new low. But it does seem like we are starting to make a move upwards. That's it's nice there. Let's see how this looks. Okay, that looks, I think, okay. Let me just look at this. So started here, touched nicely here, touched nicely. It's fitting really nice there. Class this as an overshoot, probably not. Okay, I kind of like that. I think, yeah, all this is sitting on the midline, then we come back and we're sitting underneath it. So yeah, I'm thinking upwards now. We may still have another leg down, but for the moment, market's clearly moving up. So let me just move that up a tiny touch. There was probably some shorts in there, which it broke over, broke above, and then had a nice strong push, and may have been some shorts there as well, and we had a good push above that. So, what are you saying there, mate? Let's have a look. I would not risk going short. No. There was nothing even tempting anyway, and that would usually be the answer to the market going up. I would have only waited for a failure going south anyway, but that fits in there quite nice actually. I'd probably like to retest this top. After you've had a breakout, and a pullback, we haven't even got to the midline, so I'd say we're moving up. So I think I would probably say now it's long as I will be looking for. So let's just move this over. So far we've had this push down sideways, and I think it's starting. It's more rangy, more of a rangy day now. So we'll see. It may still come down for another leg, but at the moment we are moving upwards. So oof. I'd like to retest this top line here, and if we can get a decent setup, then I'd go along there. I'm quite happy to go along there. So one leg, two leg. Zoom in a little bit. My ATR is quite high at the moment. A week ago it was half of that, so it's quite high, which means obviously a little bit more risk. The bar's a bit bigger, but at least then when you take your profit, you can extend your profit a little bit to compensate, obviously, as the bars are a bit bigger. So that to me looks like hidden second. Oh no, it's not. It has broken above there. I prefer to come down here really. Let me just check that this is not a breakout and the top isn't here. No, it isn't. Okay, right. It doesn't give us an option, to be fair. Two legs down and a strong push up. Didn't even give us a chance really. Some bloody big candles here. Making me a bit nervous. One leg down, two legs down. Let's see what we can get here. One leg, two legs. Let's just get an order ready, just in
Order
case
submitted.
we get one leg, two legs, something nice off here. Okay, possible second entry long. Little break. I'll need to get down here. Come down. Come down. Okay, I was hoping we would retest this, which Let's get him well out of the way. Okay, I'm getting rid of that.
Order cancelled.
Okay, let's get it back.
Order
If
submitted.
we can push up, break above here, that's a second entry long, right off the top of here. If we can push above that, I like that. Possible second entry long, it needs to be above. Not good enough, unfortunately. Tempting, but not good enough. It was the top of this, but I'd have preferred it to be here. I just don't want to get trapped coming back in. So it was just a little bit. Okay. That was my worry. My arse would be twitching a good now because you're just about to get stopped out if you take that. So let's get rid of that.
Order cancelled.
But I'd say this is almost definitely going to... there we go. So that would have been a mistake for me, although it did go up about 4 points, but I would be expecting it to come up here, and I'd say my target would be up here. See, that's the trouble really. When you're taken below there, you've got a second entry long, nice little bar, goes up, comes down, stops you out, ends up nice and bullish and goes up anyway. That's the frustrating thing. Let's see if we can get a higher low. And now we've bounced off that. If we can get a higher low, we might not even get an option. It might just keep pushing straight up. But if we can get a higher low, let's just check we're not. So if anybody's taken the failure, they've been triggered and stopped out. So let's just see if we can get a higher low.
Order submitted.
Pull down here. Because we have respected this line again, and that's what I like. It's not going to give us an option, is it? Unfortunately. Come on, come down. Come on, break below the next one. Come on, come on. A little bit more. Come on, come on. There we go. Right, okay, let's see if we can get a nice bullish bar now. Right above here. Come on.
Order filled.
We've got a bit of slippage there, I think. Okay, so let's just check everything's working. Something's not working right. Something hasn't triggered. It's ticked above it anyway, so I just like the way once, twice, 3 times it sat there nice. I don't know what's going on here. Something hasn't triggered. Why is that 1 PA? I don't know what's going on there. Something hasn't triggered right. Let's push that up there somewhere. It's respecting on this really nice, so I kind of like that. We've got a higher low, which is triggered. If we can get above these, I think we're okay. Yeah, one of them's triggered nice, and one of them hasn't. I don't quite know why. Okay, I'm getting a bit nervous.
Order filled.
Okay. Everything's come out. Okay. Okay. It is what it is. I thought that was okay. We had the higher low. Finished bullish above there. Okay. Let's have a look. So, okay, it is what it is. Everything's where it should be, so I don't know why it was showing different. Okay, it is. Okay, so this is our first break. That's a shame because it fits nice. It fitted really nice there. We had this, which sat right on top, another one which sat right there above the EMA, so I don't know. It has gone a bit choppy, isn't it? I don't think it was a terrible trade. It was a higher low. It looked to me like we were pushing up, but running stop to this high volatility. Yeah, it looks like it. Try to go once, try twice. Possible failure, so I don't know. It's fitting nice along here. Two legs down. That was a trap that got triggered. I like that. High or low. I thought it was going to go up for a minute. Okay, so this is a break. Channel there. Break. See if we can get a higher low above here. See, for me, we had a breakout. We had a couple of legs back, and we carried on going higher. We came back and retested this a couple of times, pushed up. I mean, clearly sitting on there, lovely. Suppose the only thing is trying to go on. So that was a failure, which triggered and got stopped out. Higher low, which triggered, got stopped out. Okay. Sometimes things don't work. I can't see what it was a terrible trade. So we got that one. I thought that one would have worked. I thought it was going to for a minute, but okay, it is what it is. I mean, it looked like it broke out and came back and pushed up again, came back again. Okay. It's come back into this range, isn't it? Let me just see if this, if I can draw this any different. Okay, I think there is the problem. I think that looks a bit better. And I'd say we've had a break. Hmm. That was it, wasn't it? Was that the one? There. Hey, Jimmy, how you doing, mate? How you doing, lad? Possible second entry short.
Order submitted.
So volatile, isn't it?
Order cancelled.
Okay. Second entry short. It's just a bit too far away from the MA for me. Let's get ready in case. Nah, that's no good, is it?
Order submitted. Order cancelled.
It's very volatile, I gotta say.
Order submitted.
Possible second entry short. It's above the EMA. I'm not so keen about that. So volatile at the moment, it's just risky. No, I don't like what's going on.
Order cancelled.
Possible second entry short with a break.
Order submitted.
Now I'm staying well out of
Order
this.
cancelled.
Staying well out of this. It is just volatile at the minute. You're not right, mate. It is nuts. Very, very fast moving, isn't it? It's just too risky. So we've had this channel, we've had a break. Let's see if we can get something moving down. So get a lower high back to the EMA.
Order submitted.
Didn't get a chance to get into that. God, it's moving so quick. That's a shame. Straight down 5 points. That's frustrating, isn't it? It's moving so quick. I've got no idea why it's moving extra quick. But I'd have taken that. But look, woof, 5 points, boom, straight down. I'm not a fan of just picking those highs. Although it's certainly respecting that high, but this could be one leg and a second leg, so it could come up here theoretically, so it's just risky. Second entry long, possible. See if there's a failure. No, that's not true anyway. Yeah, I know what you're saying, mate.
Order cancelled. Just can't get into bars that big. It's ridiculous.
fact, I'm just going to take a 5-minute break, actually. I'm going to have a cup of tea. I'm not interested in getting anything to do with this at the moment. It's just bouncing all over the place. ATR's high. It's just super risky. So I'm going to take advantage and make myself a cup of tea. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Okay. No change, nothing, is there? No, it's choppy as hell at the moment, isn't it? So choppy, isn't it? Yeah, it's not making any sense, is it? Hmm. Second entry short. Size of the bar. Risky. It's bouncing off here and pushing up. See, so that's triggered. Bar's massive. Just lightly bust straight through it. second entry short there. One leg up, two legs up. Off the midline. Such a big bar out to Doge anyway, so. One leg, two leg, second entry short, naff bar, but it came back down anyway, so. It is bouncing all over the place. ATR's getting bigger and bigger. It's just Trap City, innit? If you'd have taken that one and triggered, stopped you out. So risky, isn't it? There's a lower high there. Let's see if that triggers and gets stopped out. Oh, finally one that worked. One leg, two leg. Right to the tick. Second entry long. Right off the measured leg. 9 ticks. That's about the smallest one I've seen so far, to be honest with you. Just too risky. I wouldn't be shocked if it came down and stopped you out. There's a second entry long. It's not, you're not wrong. I'm quite happy not taking a trade, mate, to be honest with you. Quite happy just sitting and watching. Yeah, I did consider that one. It was a smaller risk. It was 9 ticks, and on the grand scheme of things, that's probably one of the smallest bars. It was a measured leg plus 2 legs down. So I thought that was not a terrible trade, but same again, it's picking a bottom, isn't it? There's nothing else down here really, so it was a risk, but it was, let's have a look. It was pretty small, wasn't it? 2 1/4, so 2 3/4 would have been your risk. Yeah, I'm quite happy watching, mate. I'm not in a rush. I mean, the ATR is ridiculous, isn't it? You make a cock up, you know, ATR tick above, tick below. There's $450 down. Considering what I lost that one day, $2,400. That's quite a small amount to be down, to be fair. So I'm all right with that. I'm quite good with that. Can't take a trade just because we reach a measure. Yeah, I know that what's it trades a lot from the measured moves, doesn't he? The gorilla guy. So we've had one leg down, 2 legs down. Bullish bar, also a smaller couple of legs down. I'll be surprised if that doesn't go to the nearest tick. Yeah, not far away. It's just is it? Are we starting to get some downward movement here? Let's have a look. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah. Second entry short, just too far for the EMA for me. I like to think we're going to push down again, but it's just so choppy. It's just stupid risky. I've given up betting we're going to go down hard. I've just got to take it as I see it. And at the moment, it's just up and it's down. It's bouncing all over the place. It's choppy. ATR's high. Everything's risky. Did you? Yeah, see, I had that channel drawn different. I had it like that because it fitted lovely. I think I had it like that. Just the fact that it touched here, finished here lovely, here, 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 here. And I think it was, yeah, it was the higher low I took. Unfortunately, it was come back in. That's the trouble. Sometimes you can get stuck in these ranges thinking we're pushing out. I mean, I did. The EMA, sorry, the range was lower at the time. It was down here, so it did look like it pushed out. Had a couple of legs back, pushed out again, bounced off this, but that's what happens sometimes. And it just looked like sort of like a two-tiered channel. It was sat along. It still looks okay. Sat along the top, sat along the bottom, and but in fact, I'm going to leave that channel there because I'll post it later. At least people can see. Then I haven't just randomly gone into the top. It just looked like a fact. That was right down here. I took it, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, it looks okay. It looked okay because we were pushing along the top. Then we had a couple of legs down. And we pushed along the bottom. It looked like it could possibly, but well, sometimes you read them wrong. They're not meant to be. But at the time, the top of the range was down here a little bit. Well, it looked like it, didn't it? We'd sort of had this channel, hadn't we? A little bit sideways, 2 legs up, and a big strong 2 legs down. That's played out. So then we got this pushing up. I mean, until we'd had this, there was no real need for this. You know, even if we get rid of this, we had no. With this, we sort of had 1 leg up, 2 legs up, didn't we? Let's have a look at that. So that would have been 1 leg, 2 legs, right to the nearest hit. 1 leg, 2 legs. And then we came down and started moving off from here. So if you think about that, you know what I mean? It looked like a channel. There's no sort of arguments there, but obviously since then we've incorporated this, which is why I didn't think it was a terrible trade, because we didn't necessarily need this, because you know this had strongly pushed above this, but well, it is what it is. Ah, dear. Yeah, I mean, this didn't really come into play until we, well, in fact, it was actually down there at the time. That's where I had it. And we'd broken above it. To me, we'd sort of had this big leg down. We'd had 1 leg, 2 legs, came down, had a couple of legs down, not measured legs, but a couple of legs down, broke the new low, and then we started moving up. I mean, if you'd have had this channel drawn, then you'd have had a break, and you've had a couple of legs down, and then it started pushing up, broke above it, came back down, bounced a couple of times off the top, pushed higher, made a higher low, and that's sort of where we had it at the time. So it didn't look like a terrible trade, to be honest with you. Yeah, that was sort of a little bit lower than that. That was about, well, in fact, I had it touching right on those. And then we'd obviously had a measured leg up. We had 2 perfect measured moves, came strongly back down, made the new low, and then from then on, we were moving up. It was sort of mainly that, maybe that sort of double top, if you like, that maybe should have rung alarm bells. but it could have been, it's more likely it was probably something like that. But at the time, I hadn't drawn it like that, which in that would make sense. We're going to break a new low, but I'm going to leave it back there just because I don't want like a complete moron that's taken one randomly into the top. So it really doesn't. It didn't look that bad to me then. But obviously, as you move this up, it sort of, you know, the picture changes, doesn't it? That's the trouble. When that was sort of here, we had a push out, couple of legs back, yeah, bounced off here, pushed up, bounced off here again, bounced off here again, and it was touching that line really nice then. Touch at the top, touch, and it worked nice. Sort of, it was a couple of legs down, we pushed up, got a nice high low, finished nice and bullish. Above the EMA. So for me, it was, I think, you know, one leg I expected at least. There's one leg I expected at least to get to the tops, which would have given you sort of, you know, even just if you took it to the bodies, there's 5 and 3/4 points. So I thought it was okay, actually. Quite happy taking 3 or 4 points out of that, but. So let's see how far we get down here. We may end up then making a second leg as possible. So, may end up making a second leg. Who knows? It's possible. You get days like this where there just doesn't seem to make much sense. It bounces all over the place, gets choppy. It's not been too bad lately. We've had some reasonable days and some reasonable days of clarity. Touch. Up there. We've had some reasonable days. It's been quite okay. Let's get rid of that. How you doing, mate? How you doing? Can one make a withdrawal from Apex if you have only 3 days and reach your required threshold? No, you can't, mate. You've got to do 10 days. 10 days. If you've reached your threshold in 3 days, I'd say you've had quite large days. Now, I believe they don't count it as a trading day. They don't count it as a trading day if you've had, I think it's 30%. You'll have to check that one. If you hit a third of your total account in one day, I don't think they class that as trading. I'm not too sure. You don't lose your money. Obviously, it counts, but no, you've got to do 10 days, mate. If you've had 3 days, if you're on a $50,000 account, you're going to be doing what, 800 a day? I don't know, but yeah, you've got to do 10 days, mate. Look, I've been part of wonderful communities since you had less than 100 subs. I've grown a lot alongside you. Thank you, mate. Cheers. Thank you. Kind of you to say so. Can I trade only one ES full-size contract now for the remaining days? See, you're on a PA account, aren't you? So how many contracts have you been? What they're trying to avoid you doing is hitting a home run and then trading small. So how many contracts have you been trading to hit your target? Because they could refuse you and say you need to trade a bit longer. But if you've been trading 2 contracts and you've hit, I don't know, 2,500 contracts, I don't see it's a major problem if you go just down to 1 contract. But I know what they don't want you to do is drop down to a micro for the remaining and then try and withdraw money. Excuse me. So you've got to be careful there. Okay, things are definitely slowing down a bit. ATR's come down. It was up to 4 at one point, so it's come down about 20%. So things do seem to be slowing down. So that's something, I suppose. You have 150 PA and you've been trading 3 contracts. So what was your target on there? What target did you have to hit? $5,000? I'm assuming it's $5,000. You've been trading 3 contracts. 3 days. I think it's $5,000, isn't it, your target? And you've been trading 3 contracts on 3 days. How long have I been trading for? Nearly 2.5 years, mate. Coming up 2 years just with this system. What was I saying? Oh, wow. So you've hit 9,000 in 3 days. So you've had 3,000 a day. That's quite a lot, that is, mate. So I don't know if they're going to have an issue. If I was you and you're up to 9,000, I'd drop down to 2 contracts and just take 1 to 2 trades a day if I was you, and see out your 10 to 12 days. They might not count those 3 days as they're so large. 5-1, I did say on 1 day, 2,000 on day 2. On 3 contracts. Yeah, it's possible to hit that, isn't it? On 3 contracts. I don't know how they'll react to that. You may be okay. Or they may say we won't count the 2,700 day, although they'll count the funds, but they might not count it as a trading day. But if I was you, mate, and I was on 5,100, I go down to 2 contracts and take no more than 1 to 2 trades a day. And if you take a loss, just bin it, just finish. Or you got yourself to a reasonable amount now, see. So what you don't want to do is do anything stupid. So I'd really take your time. I would. I suppose you could go down to 1 contract and just take it easy, but they may not count those 3 days. So in other words, you may have to do another 10 days, but I don't think that really matters so much. Okay, so let me have a look. So we've had the short-term trend chart, we've had a break. Yeah, ATR's definitely coming down a bit now. Things are slowing down. It's not as volatile anyway, so that's a good thing. Okay, short-term trend chart, break new high. See what happens when it gets up to here. See if we can get a nice bearish bar and then maybe a lower high or a failure below the EMA. Yeah, PA. If you're up to that, mate, you've got to be very careful now, because probably taking you a while to be able to get up to that figure. So you want to protect that life like your life depends on it. So yeah, maybe go down to what they don't want you to do is going down to a micro. So yeah, if you want to go down to 1 contract, I don't see it being a problem. They may make you trade 10 days on 1 contract, but you know, if you take 2 losses on 1 contract, you're looking at about 350. So let's say you took 2 losses a day for the remaining 10 days, you'll still have, you know, I wouldn't worry about it. Go down to 1 contract if you want. I don't see it being a problem. I'd say protect that account like your life depends on it. So all of a sudden, that a big quick spike, I'm guessing. May have been some shorts there, but it's pushed above here and then a quick spike. So there may have been some lower highs there. I don't know, but James. So if you make a lot, they'll assume it's lucky and not pay. They won't not pay you, but what they might do is, yeah, they might reset the 10 days. So but it's not a major issue. you've managed to get that. So, you know, whether it was from a bit of luck or whether you traded it right and you just had good days. But I will protect it like your life depends on it. And they may just make you trade 10 days. That's fine. You can do that. Just take your time. Sometimes, see, when I got to that figure, I started getting a little bit too confident in my own, you know what I mean? So just be careful, just protect it, and you'll be okay. But well done for getting to that figure. But yeah, protect it like your lives depend on it. Okay, 2 legs up. We've had a break out of this channel. Second entry short there. Yeah, I'm just not getting involved at the moment. It's just too risky. Tempting to go short from that measured move. Broken out the channel, but I'm not having anything to do with it at the moment. I've got no problem with finishing the day down a few hundred, $300-400. I don't mind. Let me see if we got a. Let me see if we got a channel from Mac. See how he's showing his. Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, I haven't logged in, that's why. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Let me just adjust this. Mac's got his drawn. That was the news. Yeah, so Mac has got his drawn there, like that. And that starts from there. Yeah, he's got the top of his channel drawn up here. And that's about right, isn't it? No, that goes up a little higher. Yeah, he's got his drawn like that, Mac has. Okay. Yeah, one leg up. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Mac's got his drawn like that. That's good enough for me. Okay, so let's say. You may call that a triple test. We've had measured leg, sort of touching there. I don't know. I'm not sure about it, so I'm just going to let this go. Just too risky. It's just so volatile. Yeah, I'm not getting involved. It's going to be more sitting and waiting. Push up. Mm-mm-mm. It's definitely bouncing off that midline. Bounced off it there. You could call that a hidden second entry short. Triple test possibly. I don't know. It's just, that's just, it's got danger written all over it for me. Could say that's a triple test. It's triggered. Be a possible second entry long. It's just so risky. It's gone a little bit congested again there. You just can't get involved in this. It's just so risky. I'm heading out. Have a good day. Yeah, trading time. Good on you, mate. Thanks for hooking up with us. You have a good day, mate. You have a good day. Yeah, I don't know. Bullish, bearish. It's looking even to me. See if you'd have taken that one. Triple test, maybe. Depending on where you're going out. I don't know. It's just too risky. I just can't get involved in any of this. I've got to start doing things. I'll start making better decisions. Just because I'm sat earning my few $100 down, $300 or $400 down, doesn't mean that I can squeeze trades. Excuse me just a second. Okay, right, let's have a look. One leg. Two leg take just right to the top. Okay, so Jonathan, I think they are trying to get liquidity for the big moves coming, you think? Well, you know more than me, mate, because I haven't got a clue what's going on. All I know is danger, danger. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, it's very choppy. ATR's climbing again, so the risk's becoming larger. Another half an hour of this, and I'm going to say goodbye, I think. I took that trade when it was like this. I do believe now it was slightly shorter, but it just touched here. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. I thought that was the way up, but apparently not. See, Mac hadn't started his trend channel till range, and he won't have started it until it came down and bounced here. So that's when he'll have started it. So to me, this just looked like a trend. Then it would have looked like a trend. So, but it is what it is. Sometimes they don't work. Sometimes things are a bit choppy. Sometimes you misread them a little bit. All you can do is just move on. You've just got to say goodbye, let it go. Trouble is, you hold on to those feelings and those emotions. They tend to. So many times I lose a trade and I'm straight back in another one with literally within minutes. And, you know, I think as much as you feel in control, sometimes it's good to walk away just for 5 minutes, take a quick break. Sometimes your eyes can play tricks on you and drag you straight back in to try and get your money back, you know. So be so careful. One leg side was 2 legs, so we're going to bounce it and push up any higher, or are we going to come down? I got no idea. The trouble is, when it's like this, market doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense. Yeah, I agree, mate. Banking industry is having some scary times at the moment, and the markets are reacting obviously to it. So that's probably why things are a little bit more unpredictable, a little bit more erratic today. So you've just got to really wait for those good trades, because you take anything less and you're just going to get ripped to pieces. Excuse me a second. Okay. Let's hope we may get a second entry. One leg, 2 leg. Yeah, roll over as well. Yeah, I think a lot of it was Silicon Valley, didn't it? And then other banks started to. I don't know, there's a bigger knock-on effect. I know people are pumping money into crypto, and I suppose panicking, trying to take money out of banks. But I don't know what your system's like over there, but I know over here we get protected, I think, up to £85,000 for each pound. So if any issues with the bank, anything 85,000 or lower, you're guaranteed you'll get it back from the government. So I believe you've got a similar sort of thing, haven't you? I know Biden was on about the other day saying you don't need to worry in that, but people panic, don't they? So I know there was queues outside the bank, people trying to withdraw cash. Not heard of online banking? I don't know how it works. I did think that there may be a spike in the channel here. I don't know. It's just so hard. It's just so risky getting into things like this. Oh, you're 250k. Oh, nice. Yeah, you don't need to worry so much, do you? I only wish I had £85,000 in the bank. Like 2 leg. Look what's going on here. See, we've had this channel range. Keep getting my words mixed up. We've had a break out of it, so we may get something similar towards the top. We do seem to be getting higher lows. there's just, trouble is, in this market, I want something like that that's sitting just like that. It's just too risky anything else. It is frustrating when you get days like this. You sit here for 2-3 hours and you just get market bounces all over the place. But I took that loss and I think I've learnt my lesson. I've just let it go. I'm not prepared to take anything slightly, you know, a little bit more aggressive. But yeah, see, before we had this, I still don't think that was terrible. But anyway, sometimes they don't work. Yeah, I suppose the one thing helps the other out. If the bar's bigger, you can afford to go for a little bit more points, can't you? As the risk increases, so does, I suppose, your profit mark. Apart from this, nothing's broken above that line. We have had a break out the bottom, so it's feasible that we may get one out the top. Just wondering if we're going to get a second entry long here. Let me just see if there is a channel here. It just doesn't make much sense to me, that. You're long here, are you? I like to think it's going to make a second leg up, but because we've had this break out the bottom, but there's just, for me, there's just no entry at the moment. That's just too risky. Couldn't have taken that one because we've had a break. It might have triggered below and made a new above and made a new low. So I don't know. I can't take anything at the moment. I have to just play by the book, otherwise I'm never going to make it at this. So many times I take trades which I just shouldn't have done, but I think it's all part of developing that mindset and trying to focus just on those good trades. Sometimes when you sit here, you know, hour after hour and nothing really happens, I think as human beings, we naturally get a bit impatient. But I think if you can recognize it and just try and put something into place to combat it, or at least to help yourself, and you may have an opportunity. Let's have a look. Okay, that doesn't look terrible, actually. Why didn't I do that before? Okay. So still no real entries. It's still risky. We had to push up a little bit of sideways. It looks like we're going to have this other leg up. It's possible we can break out the top because depending on how you got this trend channel, I've drawn it like Max drawn it. Whereas, and that makes sense. Touch, 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 touch. In fact, go down a tiny touch. There, right. Why have I got a thicker line there? Oh, okay. I've got two of them, that's why. Okay. That one, isn't it? There we go. There we go. Nice touch, nice touch, nice touch there. Couple of bodies there. A couple of bodies there. So if you class that as the bottom, then obviously we've had a break out of this. So you may expect it higher. Now, apart from this, nothing has closed above this line I got here. So I class this as the top, I think. In fact, in that case, I should probably bring that down, shouldn't I? Let's bring that to there. Okay. Let's think about this logically. If this is the top, yeah, now, and this is the bottom. So we've had a breakout here. We could get the same here. So we've had this channel, we've had a break. Now, I've got to be careful of doing this because these trend channels don't always operate like you think they may do. See, we may not get a break in a new high. We've just hit the top of this channel, so it may just come careering down. And it's easy sometimes to take a break and try and go long. Now, we may do, but we might not do. So you just got to let it go without you, as frustrating as it is. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth stream. As such, viewers will experience buffer. Okay, nothing I can do about that. Okay, short-term trend channel. Yeah, so whether this is right or not, one leg, two legs. We haven't quite made a measured leg, but I thought we may push a bit higher. We still may, but it's just unpredictable at the moment. It's not clear. It's hard to trade. EMA's creeping back. ATR's creeping back up again. So it's just hard to trade this stuff, really. And you've got to be so careful. I'm sort of glad when I took that one, yeah. Make what you will of that one, but it's very common for me to jump back in pretty quick after, and I didn't do that. So at least I seem to have a little bit more control today. And I think that's probably quite common. People take a loss. I think their chances of getting back into another trade straight after is pretty high, and the chances of losing it, I would say, is again pretty high. So it's just too risky, and the sensible trader, I think, will just let this stuff go by and stay out of it because it can get you in all sorts of trouble. Don't forget, guys, if we've still got this 80% off at the moment, I believe until Sunday, I think 80% off all evaluations, and that's for consecutive months as well, should you not pass for the first month. So I've got a code there, as you know. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but I do get a kickback, and that does help me trade here full time. So if you do, if you are in the market for an evaluation, I've got a code there, and if you use it, it's greatly appreciated. Okay, one leg possible, a couple of legs down. See what I mean? There's no sort of hint of pushing higher. And that's the trouble, really, when you do have a break, when you have these trend channels within ranges, it's easy to get stuck into that mindset that we're going to push higher. It's not necessarily going to happen. There is a possible second entry long there, but it's not something I'm going to get involved in. It hasn't made it anyway. Okay, that is a failure. Try that once, try that twice. So 3 points. Did not know anymore. Where did you go? The higher low? Higher low. I haven't really had one on mine apart from this one. I got no idea what's happening. Not making any sense to me. One leg, two leg. It's bouncing all over the place. It's sort of high risk stuff. There's so much sideways. It's up, down, up, down. I mean, it's clearly ranging, but see if you took that short there at the top of the range, push down. You took that short at the top of the range, it pushed down. Took that long off the bottom, it pushed up. We had that break, you took that long, it pushed up. We had that break, you took that long, it pushed up. So it is doing what it should do at the tops and bottoms of the ranges, but the trouble is it's just I think you need to be a little bit more of a seasoned trader to trade this sort of messy stuff. You really need to know what you're doing. And well, as I say, I've only been trading a couple of years, and 2 years does sound quite like a long time, but in this business, it isn't. And I mean, even when you hear Mac talking about this, you know, he'll say he'll be the first one to tell you that the skilled trader stays out of this. Short-term trend channel, you think you're going to get a break and a new high, but then you get a massive bar like that. This could be one leg, two legs down. But see what I mean? It's just so unpredictable. You just get a big random bar like that, 24-tick bar. It's like it's a 6-point bar with a tick above it, tick below it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 6 points, 6.5 points, tick above, tick below. Would you go long there? Short-term trend channel, break new high. Would you want to go long there? Not for me. Do I think it's going higher? Maybe. I haven't got a clue. Not a clue. Short-term trend channel break. You would think a new high, but I'm not getting involved. Price action is appalling at the moment. Excuse me. I mean, it's bouncing off this. You know, it's using it as resistance, and we're using it as support, and it's bounced off lovely there. But I just wouldn't be shocked if it ticks above it, comes down and stops you out, because that's what's happening in the market. That's just what's happening at the moment. It's just risky. Everything's risky at the moment. See if you're taking that one now. That's a 15 tick above, tick below, 17 ticks. It's just too big, isn't it, to take risks with? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4.25 points with a tick above it and a tick below it. It's just too much risk, isn't it? Too much risk. So you could say second entry short. I'm tempted to short that, actually.
Order submitted.
No, I'm not. I thought if it's a short, if it breaks below there, it might trigger. Nah, sod that.
Order cancelled.
Sod that. What am I thinking? I just thought, no, forget what I'm thinking. Traps. So you got a long there, which is triggered, and it didn't come down and stop you out. Then you got a short, which triggered, stop you out. Yeah, it's just too risky. Have you joined? I clicked on the free week, but I had a message from him saying the offer's not on at the moment, so I don't know what's going on. And obviously, I'd be interested to watch it, but what I'd have to do is have it on a separate screen with the volume switched off, because obviously it doesn't want to affect, you know. I don't think he'd be happy if I've got him playing in the background for everyone to listen, so that that'll have to be just on. Because the trouble is the volume comes through, so I've got a Mac, I can put it on that and just watch it separately. But a couple of people have told me he trades similar to me, same style, but he goes for more points, which is what I'm trying to do. But then a couple of people have said he trades for about an hour and a half, but sometimes he doesn't show all his trades, or sometimes, you know, so I don't quite know. But I'd like to see him just out of interest. You know, I've got time to listen to anybody who knows more than me. And I believe, from what I can gather, he's been trading for quite a while and he's good at what he does. So, put it this way, as far as I'm concerned, I take my hat off to anybody who makes money in this industry, because I know how tough it is. So see, I'll look at that then. You got a second entry long there, which is triggered and it's going to get stopped out. You've got a lower high, one leg down, you may think another leg down, which is triggered and got stopped out. It's just so choppy, isn't it? But no, I'd like to ask you a question. Is he? Have you been with him today? I'm assuming he's finished then, hasn't he? So, how long did he trade for, bud? How long did he trade for? I think he only trades for an hour and a half, but I'm definitely interested in watching him, that's for sure. So what I might do is, I'm away this weekend. What I might do is get him next Tuesday and just put him on a separate chart. See, you guys see me trade and you see what I'm looking at, and then you can compare it to what you're looking at, and sometimes it gives you a little bit of confidence to see what someone else is seeing. You know, am I seeing the same as you, and so on. But I don't have that. I'm on my own, so it'd be nice for me to just to watch him. Now, I have watched the Panda guy at the moment, but he seems to be going through a tough patch at the moment. And he does seem to have very much his own system, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. I think he started with Mac, and then he seemed to move on to Al Brooks. But he seems to be going through blowing lots of accounts at the moment and taking lots of trades and a little bit erratic. So I think he may just be. I think he's struggling a bit, and we've all been there, haven't we? I never knock anybody that's going through a hard time because I know what it feels like. So he seems to have lost his way just a little bit. I did look back on some of his trades 12 months ago, and he took trades and he was doing okay. He had lots of green days, but he seems to get way more red days than he does green days. So, yeah, we usually have 1 to 2 hours live, but sometimes we get on later too. He shows all his trades live today. He talked a lot about psychology, which is good. So it was very good. No trades today so far. Okay, well, you can't argue with that, can you? It's been a choppy day. Yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll sign up for a month. So I'm assuming you open up. What's the word I'm looking for? You open up. Well, what's the software? What's it called? What's the chart you open up? Because somebody says he streams on Zoom, so I didn't know whether you'd need Zoom, but Discord. So I believe you open up Discord and he just lets you in, doesn't he? But yeah, I don't want to do it on this computer because I think the sound plays through. I know I clicked on a video the other day and someone said they could hear the panda guy. I clicked on his for some reason just to see how he was doing, and someone said they could hear him. So what I'll probably do is put him on. I've got a Mac laptop, so I'll probably put it on there and just watch his chart just to see what he's doing. Because as far as I'm concerned, if there's anybody out there more skilled than me that shows his trading, then I'm happy to learn. I would say I'm still just entering the intermediate level where I know enough to make money, but I'm still finding things difficult and I'm still making rookie mistakes. But I'm not a complete beginner, so I'm starting to learn. And I think my skill level is better than my psychological level because I can spot good trades. It's just my psychological level. 190 legs jumps in and makes me do stupid things. So I'd say that's my strength, if I've got one, would be my chart reading and ability to see trades. But my weakness is the ability not to wait for the good ones. Let's have a look. There's a channel you enter and watch him live. You can write there but not talk. That's fine. That's fine. Solante. Hey mate, you need to check out some ICT vids on your ICT to make more sense of the market. There is some chap who explains it nicely. Hold on a second. Let me just take a quick photograph of your comment there and I will have a look. I'm always up for watching new people. I know there was another guy who started live streaming and I'm not out to make money out of YouTube, so I'll give him a little plug here. Because I've got no problem with that. As far as I'm concerned, it's not us and them, it's us. We're all together. We're all trying to make money, and I'm happy to help other people. And I've actually advised people to stream. So this guy here. So have a watch of him if you like. He started streaming as well, an American chap. So I got no issues with this. I'm not out to try and outdo people or this, that, and the other. I'm quite happy to help other people out. But he live streams as well, and I shall be looking back on some of his videos as well and seeing how he's getting on. But I'll do whatever I can to learn. I'll watch whoever I need to learn. And if someone's got one more day experience than me, then as far as I'm concerned, they're fair game for me to watch, and I will. So let's have a look. ICT trading. Okay, let me just take a quick shot of that. Thank you, Zalonte. Thanks for that. But yeah, I make a bit of money out of the evaluations, but it doesn't cost you guys anymore. And sometimes you may lose other guys, and that's fine. When I take mine, I help out Sam from 5 Trader. I always use Sam's code, so I help other people out and other help me out, and it's all it's all about helping each other. We're all in the same club here of mentally deranged people, aren't we? So I've got no issues. So check out his vids. I will, mate. Yeah, Pure gold, absolutely. As soon as I finish today, I'll have my tea, and I always come back and I do a little bit of studying, a little bit of research. I look at my trades, find out what I screwed up. There is a failure there, but it does look like we're having a couple of legs, but it's too just risky at the moment. I'm not interested in getting into anything. If I take this short, there's 3 or 4 bars stacked back to back. I have to get used to going away on a red day, so this is a little challenge for me to go way down. I always like to try and get something back, and sometimes that can be a mistake, because as the day progresses, you tend to try and squeeze a trade and overdo one to get it, and sometimes you can end up 2 down. And when I built that PA account, I had 18 green days in a row and some really good solid days. And sometimes that can build your confidence level, and then when you take a loss or 2, it can be a bit damaging. So it's quite a good exercise in self-control going away $300-400 down. So I'm all good with that. Hey, Osam, how you doing, mate? So yeah, see what I mean? If you'd have taken that short, it's triggered, your arse would be twitching now, and then mine would be. That's just got danger. There you go. If you took that failure, you just got triggered and stopped out. And that's what the market does. It just punishes you. When it's like this, it's like walking into a boxing ring without, with your hands tied behind your back. Unless you are very good at moving out the way, you're just going to get battered. T-trades. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break, 2 minutes. Okay, that's a second entry short. Its price is bouncing off there. No, I'll leave it alone. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, let's get rid of that. Struggling to see anything worth taking. Let's have a look. And check out Casper SMC. Let me just take a quick photograph. Where was it? Casper SMC. Yeah, I always watch other people's videos, and I always study other people's charts as well and compare them to myself. Everyone who posts a chart, I look at their chart, look through it, see if I took the same, see if we were seeing the same, see if our channels are the same. I did look at that, a possible second entry short, because price seems to be holding there, but the bar was a little bit naff. It's just so unpredictable, isn't it? You can't trade this stuff safely. You just can't do it. I mean, look, it's all over the place, that. Look at this lot. You just can't do nothing with that. Can't do nothing here. There's just nothing really, is it? It's so choppy. ATR's nearly back up to 4. Hey, Nick, how you doing, mate? Check out Nick Sesto Gambles on YouTube. I have heard rumours about you. I have heard rumours. I take it you've done nothing today, Nick, have you? It's so hard, isn't it? Look at this. Look, the ATR's nearly back up to 4. I did take that one. It looked good to me because I noticed Mac hadn't drawn this. So we had this. We had a sort of 2 legs up, and then we had that 2 legs down to break a new low, and then we just started going up. And I thought that was okay. Touched it lovely. Touched it a bunch of times here. And I thought that was a really good trade, actually. We sort of had this one. Everything's touching nice. And then we had the lower high, which was above. I thought that was golden, to be fair. Well, I thought it was okay. I mean, it's a little bit. But anyway, it didn't work. So I took a loss, but I'm okay with it. I didn't do something stupid. I didn't jump straight back in. I just let it go. But then I noticed Mac drew his channel, and he wouldn't have drawn this channel until we'd have had the bounce, because there'd have been no reason for it. So at the time, he would have just seen that. So there's no reason really to draw a channel just yet, because we may have had this little bit of sideways, 1 push up, sideways, another push up, 2 legs down, which played this out, and then obviously we're moving up. So you wouldn't necessarily need to draw that. So, but what I think it probably was more like that. In which case we'd had a break and we'd had a couple of pushes up to a new high. But it happens sometimes, doesn't it? But I'm going to put it back just so people don't think I'm an absolutely raving lunatic taking that trade. At least they can work out why am I done it. Same walked away and waited for a really good trade, or I'm walking away. Yeah, I don't blame you, mate. I'm not taking nothing here at the moment. It's just too risky, isn't it? And I think that's the key to part of your success, if you're able to sit down and have the patience to just let this stuff go by. The trouble is, you got that little fire in your belly, haven't you? And you're desperate to get in there and make some money. You know, it's like you let loose, isn't it? You know, it's like walking into a nightclub or a disco when you're 18. You're walking around there looking at women, and your eyes are lit up, and you're busting to pick someone up, aren't you? And that's the trouble sometimes when you get into trading. You're that desperate and eager to make some money that you're not necessarily thinking clearly. Okay, this line is fitting nice, 1 leg, 2 leg. If we can get a decent short from here, and it is working here. If we can get a decent short there, measured moves played out, then
Order
I think
submitted.
this is worth a go. If it's not such a big trade, as long as it's not such a big risk. We've had 2 pushes up, measured move. It's finished beautifully, but I would say 1 leg, 2 leg, finished nice here. It would probably likely be coming down, but there's just nothing there, is there? See if we can get a lower high. Yeah, it's gone right up there, that measured move, right to the nearest tick. Oh, look at that. It's frustrating to see that. You almost, you're pretty sure where it's going to
Order
turn
cancelled.
around. We had a short-term trend channel. We had a break. New high right to the tick of this measured leg. And we know that when it gets there, if we look at past history over the last couple hours, it's turned down from there. Unfortunately, it wasn't a great looking bar. There is a lower high there. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a
Order submitted.
a little bit of a limit order to reduce that risk. So let's just see, when we came back here, we had a couple of legs down. So when we came back here, yeah. So we're going to push down, lower high. Okay, try go once, try go twice, possible failure. Trouble is, it's just too risky. That
Order cancelled.
possible failure, which is triggered, but it's above the EMA. Little bit chop size. That's the trouble, is it could do anything here. I'd like to say it's probably going to make a couple of legs, but it's just too risky. Okay. Yeah, it did what I expected, but it's just too risky. I thought if it triggers, which it didn't, and comes back, maybe I'll get in a limit order up here and take a point risk, but one leg, two leg. Yeah, see, every time we get these measured move, one leg, two leg, it reverses, one leg, two leg. Maybe we're going to get a push up. Yeah, if we're going to bounce off that, I think as we've broken away, we would have done it by now. Yeah, I don't like the look of any of this. Yeah, one leg, two leg. It didn't quite make it to the nearest tick, so. Yes, if you'd have taken that one off, you know, just above the midline, just, it's so risky, isn't it? We had one leg up, two legs up. It's where I'm assuming, well, when we got up, the trouble is, it's just not a good enough signal bar, is it? Which is unfortunate because we had a massive, well, I say massive, 5.25, 6, 7. We had a 7-point drop. So if you'd have taken a trade there, you'd have got out, what, 3.5, 4 points in a split second, but you just can't do it. You've got to follow the rules, and it's so easy to get suckered into trades like that, and I just don't know. There are days when there's trades around and good solid trades, and they're the days we need to just wait for and take advantage when they're there. And there are days like today where markets are very volatile, the bars are a lot bigger, hence the risks are a lot bigger, they're fast moving, they don't make really good sense, and it's just too choppy. I mean, look at that. I mean, that is hard to trade. It's bouncing all over the place. Look, there's no rhyme or... I mean, we are having little trends, but it's just so up and down within each other. It's just so hard. And it's so risky. And the sensible thing to do is just to let this shit go by and wait for the good stuff. Because there are better days ahead. You know, we have had a couple of good days. I traded a little bit pre-market a couple of days ago. I had about $1,400 to go on my evaluations, and I had two beautiful trades. One made 7.5 points, and like I usually do is follow them down. There was just a bunch of red bars in a way, and I came out and I made 11 points on another one. Same again, red bar after red bar after red bar. Not one of them climbed above. And just now and again, you'll get those lovely days and you just got to take advantage of them. But unfortunately, price is definitely climbing off somewhere there. I'd say we're ranging in this area at the moment. Even with hindsight, I don't really see anything. I don't really, to be honest with you. I mean, you could say that was a failure, but just look at the sideways stuff. You just don't know, do you? You expect it to turn down here, which it did, but the bar was naff, although we had two beautiful legs up. But, yeah, see, about this. See, this is quite nice. Let's see if we get a small bar here.
Order submitted.
Price is bouncing off that. If we get a small bar and a nice green bar, then I may... Because price is being held there. In fact, no, I don't like
Order
it.
cancelled.
This to me looks more like a little channel. Yeah, that looks like a channel, and I don't want to be going long in the middle of a downtrend. That would be mental. So I'd say now, yeah, this is a channel to me. I just can't go long there, even if we had a nice bullish bar. It's just not sensible. You'd be going along into short term. Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's why I couldn't do it. There's so many times before I've done that. I've taken a long there and I've gone, hold on a minute, and I've drawn this channel down there. You just can't do it. It's a big no-no. You never want to sort of counter trend right into a down. I've done it before out of frustration, but yeah, it's just, you can't do it. And I can't say, well, okay, what if I adjust that? No, that makes no sense. That makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. That's definitely a little channel. You couldn't say there's a short-term trend channel followed by a break. No, that's definitely a channel, and it's all fitting nice within there. There's no argument there. You have to judge it as it is. You can't take a trade here. Certainly a long, you've got to wait for it to break. We'll do something different. I'd say that we may come down to the bottom here now. We may see a breakout. The trouble is, you could, if you had a breakout new low, you could trade it back in, but is this just so choppy? Yeah, we've all done it, Nick, haven't we? And the best way of learning this business is just to spend as much time as you can sat in front of these charts, and preferably making mistakes and learning from them. Do you remember when I first started, I watched one of Mac's videos, and he mentioned about this is just like learning to be a doctor or something like that. It takes time, and I'm thinking, how can you equate learning to trade being the same as a doctor? The doctor, what, they're at college or university, what, 5 to 7 years? How can you compare the two? Well, I've been doing this 2.5 years. I realise how bloody hard it is. It looks so simple, and some days you have a beautiful trend and everything works and those trades are nice and straightforward, and then you get days like this where you just don't know your arse from your elbow. That's clearly a nice little trend down there. So this is a break of it. Now, usually we make a new extreme, but price is being held by that bottom line, so I don't really want to go short there because I'm not. There's not really a lot of room to maneuver, and sometimes when price does come down here, people jump in quick and off it shoots. So sometimes you don't have a chance to get your stop down there and get out before the buyers buy the market, and it shoots up straight through. Looking to short this 3890. Looking to short it. I wouldn't be shorted on this line. It's not to saying it's not going to go down, but if you look, everything since, where are we, 3 o'clock, where are we now, 4, 5, everything for the last 2 hours, nothing has closed below that line. Everything's been above that line, which tells me that's playing an important role. So it may push down below here and make a new low, but then I think it's more likely that it's going to close back above this line. You would expect that, you know, to have a break and make a new low, but I just think it's going to push back up again, because that's what's happened. You know, you're going to notice these patterns, and I'd say it's likely going to break below, but then I'd say it's more likely going to close above. It's really struggling to get down. Yeah, see, rejection straight off that line. It's broken below it, and then it's got rejected. People don't want to go down. So do you take a short there off the bottom of the range? We've had a break. We haven't had a new low, but in a lot of cases, we don't. I'd say that bar is more likely to push higher, but 1, it's risky, and 2, it's 18 ticks, and 3, it's obviously turned into a doji, but this is just, you can't trade this. It's just so awful. This is probably some of the worst price action I've seen for a while, actually. Week or two maybe. It's just so choppy. ATR's decline. So realistically, tick above, tick below, you got the best part of a 4.5 point risk. It's not worth risking anything more than a point in this type of market. Setup. Yeah, I can't predict what's happening. All I know at the moment is it's working its way between here, but it's not making sense. Okay, so we've had this. We're trying to go higher once. If we get a failure above here, then maybe. Or this could be a second entry short. It pushes higher. We still haven't made a new low, so you just don't know what's going to happen. Okay, possible second entry short, not close enough to the EMA for me. No room to the lows. Risk. Ooh. 1 leg, 2 legs. Okay, there is a second entry short there right off the key entry point. I kind of like it, but I love the bar, but it's just, is it congested? I think it is. It's a big ass bar as well. No, they aren't. Yeah, I can't. I love where the bar is, but look at this. And it, you know, that goes that idea right. I'd say with a nice big bearish bar, I'd say there's a good chance we're likely to come down at the bottom, but that's massive, isn't it? Look at that. I love the bar, don't get me wrong. I love where it is. That's the type of trade I'd like, but I don't really want to risk that. 6 points, that is. Tick above, tick below, 6.5 point risk. Not a chance. On that note, I'm trailing this stop. You went short there, did you? I couldn't bring myself to do that. I'd say, looking at that, you may have a couple of legs down, but I don't know. That's the first time it's broken out of there in the last 2 hours. So, I mean, I'm glad it's worked, don't get me wrong, but I just couldn't bring myself. It didn't even come back. It came back about a tick. I just couldn't take a risk like that. Yeah, it is, but you've just got to let it go, haven't you? We're not prepared to take a risk there. I mean, look, to me, that's completely congested and it's a massive bar. You know, so many times we see that trigger and then it goes back up, takes you out, and you'll be kicking yourself if you threw away 6 points. That's, you know, for 2 contracts, it's a $600 trade. That is just not worth it. So would you fade the breakout? Fade the range? Nah, it's just not worth it, is it? Exactly, mate. Exactly. And that's what happens. You see this work, next time you jump in and you get your arse shafted. And none of us want that, do we? Let's face it. Yep, I like my arse nice and pucker. I don't want anything near it. I do wonder whether we're going to make a second leg at some point. You're going to walk your dog. I don't blame you, Jonathan. I don't blame you, mate. Still unclear on direction. Yeah, it's not making any sense, really, is it? Yeah, I mean, looking at that now, you know, you would think a break. It's a second entry short, so it's a clear trend. But in the last 2 hours, markets haven't closed behind here, so it's just that's the type of area that you just get dragged into, don't you? And we look at it now and go, yeah, second entry short, beautiful trade, let's take that. But you know, at the time, none of us knew this was going to happen, did we? It could have triggered below a little bit and then pushed back up. Yeah, sometimes, you know, it depends what you like, but you may come back here in an hour or two and have another look and see if things have calmed down a bit. But I tend to, I don't know, sometimes when I come back later, depends what frame of mind I'm in, but sometimes I've come back lately and I've had a trade or two. So sometimes when things calm down, things make sense. It does look like it's going to make a couple of legs down, doesn't it? But it depends where I am, frame of mind wise. Sometimes I come back and do stupid things. So I did trade last night. I took 2 trades on my evaluation and left the PAs alone, and I took a 3.5 point and a 5 point or something like that. So I don't necessarily mind coming back and maybe trading an evaluation, but my PA accounts, I'm leaving this at the door when I'm finished my day. So how long will we be going? Let's give it another 10 or 15 minutes. See what happens. One leg, 2 legs. In fact, no. Tell you what, if you could make and get predictions like that right, mate, you'd make a fortune. I think we're going down to 3822. I wish. I mean, it's possible. We could certainly get a. I'm assuming that's where you mark that second leg to. Trouble is, I thought this might be the start of it. I thought this might be the start of a second leg, and then I thought this might be the start of a second leg. So you just don't stick around. We may get a downtrend, you reckon? Trouble is, we've had one here, we've had one here, we've had one here. That is a sharp one, though, isn't it? This, you never know, but I guarantee you, or almost guarantee, if we do get one of these, there'll be no bloody entries. So if you took that one, if I took that one, I'd certainly have my stop around about here, and I'd be thinking, what can I get out of this? But you just don't know, do you? Let's see if we end up getting below here for starters. Bars are getting smaller. Yeah, it's 3 1/4, that one. So the bars are getting smaller. Ordinarily, if that wasn't such a big bar and we didn't have this bottom here, that's a trade I would love to take. We got one push down, 2 pushes up. That's how I like them to finish beautifully. But if that was a lot smaller and we weren't fighting this bottom line, I'd have jumped on that for sure. Because that's the type of bar BMA's facing down, nicely tucked underneath like that, finishing on its lows. Beautiful looking type of trade, but just the fact that it was massive. I think it was 6.5 point, didn't we say? Including a tick above it, tick below. It's such a big risk on such a volatile day. And obviously nothing had broken below that line in the last 2 hours, so it's just something I couldn't get involved in. But after we've had that push down and 2 pushes back up, it's a type of trade I would have loved to have taken, but unfortunately context just wasn't right, and we get days like that, as we know. So sometimes you've just got to hold your hands up and just stay out. As much as we're all, busting to make some money, and see this nicely build up, you've just really got to try and keep control and just stay out of those dangerous ones. I mean, that's such a big loss, that is. Fortunately, it worked. So if we can push up to here and retest this bottom line, then, you know, if the risk is small enough, you know, I'd say there's a good chance we could make another leg down. If we can get a second entry short and it looks right and it's not a massive risk, then I may sort of run it down from here to here, probably 5 or 6 points to take this measured move out, or to the low. We'll see. It's another reason I don't believe in setting targets. I know Max says set yourself a target of so many $100 for the day. I tend to don't do that because I think there's a flaw with that as time runs out and you're under your target, it might make you force a trade. I think it's much better to just maybe set yourself a time. So whereas I trade for 3 hours or 2 hours and leave it at that, because it's not a case of going out and getting the trades. It's sitting there and waiting for trades to appear in front of you. And, you know, as much as you want to hit your target, you're trying to force a trade to hit a target. I think it can be problematic, which is why I don't have a physical target. Now, if you said I have a target of 2 trades a day, so if I can hit 2 trades a day, then I'll finish the day. That's okay, but I think a monetary target, I think, is
Order
is risky,
submitted.
I think. Okay, possible second entry short. If we can get something to push up and break, then I'm okay for this, because there is a possible 2, 4, 6 or 7 points down to this bottom, or see what happens.
Order filled.
Okay, let's try this. It's closed below. I don't think it's bad. Things are seeming to look bearish. It's not a massive risk. It is a second entry short off the key entry point. It's right under the EMA. Let's take that down to the measured move, see what happens. Everything's trading, is it? In fact, why is one's $25 behind? I don't quite know how this works. Sometimes they just, I don't know. Nice to get into green if we can. Just getting a bit nervous then, the way this is coming back up. Down. Hoping this becomes a higher low or a lower high. Let's see if this triggers. I'm going to put it there as the lower high because I'm getting a bit nervous. It's getting a bit bouncy. Hopefully it'll do okay, but less of a risk anyway. We got that lower high which is triggered. Hopefully we'll make a new low.
Order filled.
Okay. I was getting a bit nervous there. We had a new low anyway. I got out to the bottom. I'm happy with green. All's good. So I'm happy about that. Okay. So I took that one. It was a second entry long. Worked out okay in the end. Risk wasn't massive. And then we had the lower high. The trouble is, sometimes you've just got to be confident and just... So we had a bit of a break as well and then lower high, but I think the trade was okay. It was a second entry short. Then we had the lower high, finished on its low, came down, made a new low. Where did I get out? Let's have a look. Okay, I got out there. So as far as I'm concerned, that was a tick before the low. So I'm happy there. Are we going to come down, tanking it? Possibly, but I'm happy. What did I get? 5 points, is that right? 72, 5 points, that'll do me. Yeah, cheers. I got to say, I was pretty nervous there. The trouble is, it's such a volatile day, isn't it? I mean, for me, 2 legs down, I'd like to make the measured move. We had a second entry, finish right under there. It wasn't a massive risk. We pushed down. When it came back, it just made me a bit nervous because I know the day's volatile, but then we had the lower high, came down and played out like it was supposed to. Now, I saw your win before you did you? Yeah, I got to say, my heart was beating. I just did not want to have 2 losses in there. So we're back in the green anyway. So as far as I'm concerned now, I'm going to end this stream in a minute and I'm going to run away from the computer. Nice to be green, yeah. The trouble is, and I know this from experience, when you're down, so it's hard to know whether to add that or not. It's hard to say. See, that fits better. I know from experience, and when I say experience, I don't mean I'm an experienced trader, but I know from experience of my trading, often when I end up red, when I start off with green, I can only remember one time since I've been going live that I've lost the following trade. But when I end up red, the chance of me hitting another red is a lot higher. So I got out, I think, at the right time, because I don't like it when markets, see what happens when we come down here, bars get smaller and smaller and smaller, and I see this, Al Brooks mentioned this, they start to feather out, then there's a good chance they start to go up, and I think we may have a little bit up before we go any lower, because the bars are getting smaller. So I think I came out 5 points. I'm pleased as punch with that. It's a shame I'd lost that other one, but as you say, yeah, it's nice to be green. So, you know what I mean? They're getting smaller and smaller and smaller. I think we may have a little bit of a push up before we come lower, if we come lower. And I think it is feasible by the end of the day that we may have another leg. I don't know, though, because I don't know. I thought if we were going to make a push down from the leg, we may have done it by now. But you can probably tell by how quick I'm speaking. My nerves are shot at the moment. I so badly want to succeed, and but for me, it was a clear second entry short off the key entry point. You might argue that's a bit of a break. I'm not so sure it is, but it is. It closed, one tick off its low. We pushed up and it rejected right below the EMA. So as far as I'm concerned, can you flip micros after you reach a profit target on eval? Absolutely, yes you can. In fact, a lot of people like to try and get their evals done quicker. And that might sound like not a very professional thing to do, but even the Canadian futures trader, which it makes a stack of money, says he likes to do them quick and get them out the way. So, yeah, I tend to try and get them out the way a bit quicker. In fact, sometimes I've even doubled up to gone 4 contracts, but I've just waited for good setups and I like to get them done. But yes, you can. The answer to your question. You can do one $3,000 trade, and you can take 1 micro for the remaining 6 days. But you can't do that when you go onto a peer account. They don't like that. And to be honest with you, it's fair comment. They don't want you trying to hit home runs. Now, if I happen to take a short here with 2 contracts and I got 40 points out of it going down, that's not an issue, because sometimes you'll get a good runner if you trail it down, which I tend to try and do, but and you'll get a good runner. They've got no issues with that. And if you look at the sniper system, they do capture some big moves. So if I did all week and got an average of $500, let's say $400 a day for the first 9 days, and on the one day I happen to get 40 points, it's not an issue, because I'm still trading the same contract and I'm still trading the same strategy, so it's not an issue. And I've had this conversation with people from Apex before, and I've heard Daryl say they're not after people who are taking genuine trades. So if you took a short here, 2 contracts, and the market tanked and you captured 30, 40 points, it's not an issue. So yeah, as this is feathering off here, to me, they're getting smaller and smaller. It's going to do that a little bit. So we've actually, I don't think have we hit a new low? I don't think we have. Yes, we've made them. Yeah, 1, 2. It's made. Excuse me a sec. Sorry about that. Yeah, we've hit exactly the same points, so we seem to be moving up. So that's it for me today. I think in the end I waited. The trade was okay. I expected to come down to the bottom. We were on this channel, although it is important to confirm it 3 times. So some may say, oh, it didn't confirm, but to me, we had a push down, some sideways push down, some sideways, a little bit of a pullback. For me, I think it was worth the risk, because 2 3/4 points, and considering how hard the ATR's been, it's actually come down. 2 3/4 points with a tick above, tick below. In fact, no, I took it right on that. I waited for it to do. So it was a 3-point risk. So under the circumstances, market has definitely calmed. That was up a fraction over 4. So I don't think it was a bad trade. It may have felt a bit bad to me because I did feel I didn't have a lot of confidence, to be honest with you, because of the way the market's been. But sometimes you've just got to see a setup and take it. And just, I did consider getting out of it when it came back. But I thought, I believe it to be a good trade, let it go. And then when we had the lower high, that gave me a little bit more confidence. And I came out about down here, didn't I? So I still feel like I'm physically shaking now. Yeah, I came out a couple of ticks before this low. So I think I came out of the right place. It's not worth pushing it. But anyway, so it is what it is. We managed to get back in the green. So all's good. So I feel like I took that trade. That was just before 2 o'clock UK time. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so it's about 3. Yeah, about 2. So I've managed to keep my patience for 2 3/4 hours and wait for what I believe to be a good setup, and it worked. We had this push up and a bit of a break. You might call that a break. I wouldn't, but we did have a second entry short right off the key entry point. We'd broken below this line, which we'd struggled, and we sort of, retested sort of this there, and we managed to get down. So I think the trade was okay. Was it a 9.5 out of 10? No. I think it was maybe an 85, 95% trade. I think it's okay. I don't know what your thoughts are, but for me, it was okay. But I'll have a look later. So that is it for me today. That's probably one of the most nerve-wracking days I've had for a long time. I so badly want to succeed. I'm listening to every bit of psychological stuff I can. And after I managed to get that account up, there was a few negatives saying it was all luck and blah, blah, blah. And maybe luck played a part. I think in trading, luck's always going to play a part. It's a fact. Luck always plays a part, but you put your skills together, and sometimes things work out for the better. But I would say there is an element of luck. But I do think it's obviously mostly skill. Maybe 90% skill. Maybe 10% luck. I don't know, but luck always plays a part. They say your trends are that saying your trends a friend was there for a reason, because sometimes if you can end up getting into a trade, which may be a little bit risky, sometimes the trend can pull you out of the SHIT. So all's good that ends well. So I'll consider that a tough trading day, but things worked out in the end. We all like to be green. It just makes that night a lot more relaxing. So at least, see, I don't know why. Oh, right. Okay, that's fine. So at least we're off and running. We're all on the same. Absolutely. I've shown you that clip of that new streamer. I'm not fighting for the stream. I'm not trying to be the only one that streams. I don't care what people do. Streaming for me is purely and simply, I know people are watching over my shoulder, which makes me hopefully make better decisions. So that's the way I see it. You've all been at your job, haven't you? Whatever you do for a living, and you've had the bosses walking around. You always try to do a good job, don't you? You don't want to look stupid. So that's why I started trading. That's mostly why I started trading. Another reason I like to have my trades recorded, just in case anything happened with Apex or the trade copy or whatever, and it does back up your case if it's recorded. And that's the only reason I started streaming, not to get likes. You'll never hear me mention getting likes or whatever. It's quite a nice thing to know. I can look back on my chart now and see I've got 700 odd subscribers. So it's quite a nice achievement. And knowing that people are interested in listening to me. But I think primarily why people are interested in listening to me, because it's a bit of company. Trading can be quite a lonely old business. And it's nice to have someone else maybe in the background that you can compare your charts with mine and see if we're thinking along the same lines. We're all relatively new and relatively inexperienced. We're all learning, we've all got the same desire to do well. Sometimes it's nice to look at my chart and go, oh, that's similar to mine. We're thinking along the same lines, and it helps us all trade. So, I'm not in it for me. Well, it's not strictly true. I'm not in it for me to make money out of streamers and all this. I guaranteed I have that. But the only reason I have that is because Apex will say if anybody signs up with that code, they'll pay me a bit of money. And if they're willing to do that, I'm happy to take it off them, because as far as I'm concerned, they've had a ton of my money and I want some of it back. And I put it there because I know it doesn't cost you guys any more. No matter how my trading career goes, 3, 4, 5 years down the line, I will never, ever charge anybody to watch me or to trade with me, purely and simply because I have had unlimited amounts of help and advice from other traders, and as far as I'm concerned, it's passing it on. So, if you learn anything from me, you learn maybe what not to do. As far as I'm concerned, I'll never charge anybody. I don't want people paying to see me, because I've had so many people. I've messaged, many people late at night from the UK to the US because I can't sleep because I've got something on my mind, and I've never had someone refuse me help. So as far as I'm concerned, the only reason I put that there is because that's my way of getting some of my money back from Apex, and I know you guys are taking the evaluations anyway, and it doesn't cost you any more. Now, I even messaged when I started Apex and said, instead of me having that 15%, can't I give it 15% off the guy that takes the evaluation? In other words, I'm giving a little bit back to the people who watch my channel. And the answer was that if you do that, everybody else who has an evaluation will have absolute uproar. And that's the way it is. But that's my way of Apex paying me the money. And giving me some of the probably £4,000 or £5,000 or £6,000 I've given Apex. And as far as I'm concerned, just the same as you, I want some of it back. And that extra bit I get every month enables me to work weekends and to be able to trade in the week. So as far as I'm concerned, it's an honour and a privilege to me being part of this amazing club of all you guys who I've spent hours and hours over the last 2 years with chatting. And as far as I'm concerned, we're all in this together. You get that bond, don't you, because of the frustration and misery and all the stuff you go through, and we all do it. And if I can keep anybody company in the day and you're happy to listen to me, then great. If not, you've got a volume switch, just turn me off. So look, there it is for the day anyway. I'm not gonna rabbit on anymore. I have been accused once or twice in my life of talking too much, so I'm not going to disagree with that. So look, if you're carrying on trading, have a great day. Things have calmed a little bit. It's a little bit less volatile. So I'll be back here tomorrow. Remember, no trading Friday and Monday. I'm having a long weekend away. Some people might call it a dirty weekend away, but there you go. So have a great evening. Have a great the rest of the day. I'm pleased all you guys have hooked up with me, and we've shared some tips and some advice and some thoughts on how things are going. So have a great evening, guys. Stay safe as always, and I will catch up with you all same